You understand, don't you? The 35-year-old businessman looked at his girlfriend and said, I need someone who can give me a family. Someone fertile. 8 months later, she showed up at his door, without warning. 4 baby strollers lined up in front of her. Want to meet your children? She asked, with a smile he had never seen before. What he didn't know was that that moment at the door would destroy everything he had built with the right woman, and force him to face the fatherhood he had sworn she could never give him. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now subscribe to the channel and let's get started. I need someone fertile, Jasmine. Someone who can actually give me children, Marcus said coldly, his words hitting Jasmine like a slap across her face. Jasmine Williams clutched her mug of chamomile tea, the warmth that had been comforting her after a 12-hour hospital shift now doing nothing to thaw the ice spreading through her body. She looked up at Marcus Johnson, her boyfriend of 3 years, who stood before her still dressed in his expensive business suit, his face showing no emotion. What are you talking about? She whispered, her voice barely audible in their spacious Lincoln Park apartment. The Chicago skyline twinkled through their floor-to-ceiling windows, a view they had once celebrated with champagne when they first moved in together. Marcus loosened his blue silk tie, the one she had given him for his 35th birthday last month. I've been thinking about this for a while. I can't waste any more time. I want children, Jasmine. You've always known that. Jasmine set down her mug on the glass coffee table. She was still wearing her pink loungewear, her hair pulled back in a messy bun after her long shift at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. She had been looking forward to a quiet evening with Marcus, not this ambush. But the doctor only said it might be challenging to get pregnant. Not impossible, she said, her voice stronger now. I have polycystic ovary syndrome, not infertility. Millions of women with PCOS have babies every year. Marcus walked to the window, looking out at the city he had conquered as one of Chicago's top investment bankers. His corner office at Willis Tower gave him a view of the entire city, but it wasn't enough. He had a plan for his life. Career success by 30, luxury apartment by 32, marriage by 36, and children by 38. Jasmine's diagnosis had thrown a wrench in his perfectly planned life. The doctor said, challenging. In business terms, that means high risk, low probability of success, Marcus replied without turning around. I don't have time for challenging, Jasmine. I'm 35 years old. Jasmine stood up, her exhaustion forgotten. We've been together for 3 years, Marcus. We talked about building a life together. There are fertility treatments we can try. I've already started some. And what if they don't work? Marcus turned to face her. We'd waste years trying, and then what? I'd be 40 with no children. Jasmine felt tears forming but refused to let them fall. There's adoption. There's surrogacy. There are so many ways to have a family if that's what you really want. I want my own biological children, Marcus stated firmly, with my DNA, a continuation of my family line. My parents expect grandchildren. Jasmine walked closer to him, placing her hand on his arm. Marcus, please, let's talk to more doctors. Get second opinions. We can figure this out together. Marcus stepped back, breaking their contact. I've made up my mind, Jasmine. I'm leaving. The words hung in the air between them. Jasmine felt her knees weaken. Leaving? Just like that? After everything we've been through? Her voice cracked as the realization hit her. Marcus walked to the hallway where 3 suitcases were already packed and waiting. Jasmine hadn't even noticed them when she came home. You already packed, she said flatly. You made this decision without even talking to me first. I needed to be efficient, Marcus replied. I found a new place to stay. A cold realization washed over Jasmine. There's someone else, isn't there? Marcus paused, his hand on the largest suitcase. Her name is Rebecca. She's 30. She works in marketing. How long? Jasmine demanded. 2 months, he admitted. Since your diagnosis. Jasmine laughed bitterly. 2 months? So while I was researching fertility treatments and tracking my cycles, you were already looking for my replacement? Marcus straightened his shoulders. Rebecca wants the same things I do. She's healthy. She's ready for children now. You mean she's fertile? Jasmine spat the word back at him. Yes, Marcus said simply. She is. Jasmine felt rage replace her shock. Get out, she hissed. Get your suitcases and get out of my sight. This apartment is in my name, Marcus reminded her. You'll need to find your own place. Of course. Everything is always about ownership with you, isn't it? Jasmine grabbed her phone. I'll call Andrea. I'll stay with my sister. Marcus nodded, satisfied with her practicality even in this moment. That's sensible. You have 30 days to remove your things. Jasmine stared at him in disbelief. The man she had loved for 3 years now looked like a stranger to her. 3 years together, and you're giving me 30 days to move out? Like I'm a tenant? Marcus checked his expensive watch. I have to go. Rebecca is waiting. Does she know? Jasmine asked. Does she know you're leaving me because of my medical condition? Does she know what kind of man you really are? Marcus picked up his suitcases, one in each hand and the third tucked under his arm. I told her we wanted different things. That's convenient, Jasmine said, but it's not true, is it? I wanted children too. I wanted them with you. The difference is I was willing to work through challenges. You just wanted the easy way out. Marcus walked to the door. This isn't personal, Jasmine. It's about efficiency and achieving goals. You're a wonderful woman. You'll make someone very happy someday. Just not you, she finished for him. No, he agreed. Not me. Marcus opened the door. I'll have my lawyer contact you about the apartment details. Don't bother, Jasmine said. I wouldn't stay in this place another minute if you paid me. Marcus nodded once more and walked out, closing the door behind him with a soft click that somehow hurt more than a slam would have. Jasmine stood alone in the middle of their living room. No, his living room now. 3 years of her life dismissed in a 15-minute conversation. 3 years of loving a man who saw her as nothing more than a means to an end, a vessel for his future children. She sank back onto the couch, her body trembling. The tears came now, hot and fast, streaming down her face. She grabbed her phone with shaking hands and called the one person who had never let her down. Andrea, it's me, she sobbed when her sister answered. Can you come get me? Marcus left. He's gone. As she waited for her sister to arrive, Jasmine looked around at the apartment they had chosen together. The photographs of their weekend trips to Lake Michigan. The dinner party place settings they had picked out for entertaining friends. All the trappings of what she had thought was a perfect relationship. Her tea had grown cold, just like Marcus's heart. She dumped it in the sink and began gathering essentials for the night. Tomorrow she would think about the future, about where to go and what to do. Tonight she just needed to survive the pain of his betrayal. What Jasmine didn't know, what she couldn't know, was that the fertility treatments she had already started would soon change both their lives in ways neither of them could have imagined. Jasmine stared at the door that had just closed, her tears finally spilling over. The empty space where Marcus had stood moments before felt like a physical wound. She grabbed her phone and called her sister. Andrea? It's me. She choked through her sobs. Marcus left me. Can you come get me? 20 minutes later, Andrea's car pulled up outside the Lincoln Park apartment building. She found Jasmine sitting on the floor, surrounded by hastily packed bags, her eyes red and swollen. Oh, Jazz, Andrea said, wrapping her arms around her younger sister. What happened? Jasmine looked up, her voice hollow. He said he needs someone fertile, someone who can give him children. The words still burned as she spoke them. Andrea's face hardened. He left you because of your PCOS? That's not just cruel, it's stupid. PCOS doesn't mean you can't have children. That's what I told him, Jasmine whispered. He didn't care. He's already seeing someone else. Her name is Rebecca. Andrea helped Jasmine to her feet. Pack whatever else you need. You're coming home with me. My house has plenty of room. Thank you, Jasmine said, wiping her eyes. I don't know what I'd do without you. That's what sisters are for, Andrea replied, picking up 2 of Jasmine's bags. Let's get you out of here. Across town, Marcus was pulling his suitcases from the trunk of his black Mercedes. He looked up at the gleaming high-rise on the Chicago River where Rebecca lived. Her doorman hurried out to help with his bags. Good evening, Mr. Johnson, the doorman said. Miss, Thompson told me to expect you. Thank you, Marcus replied, straightening his tie. The elevator whisked him to the 32nd floor. When the doors opened, Rebecca was waiting in the hallway, her blonde hair falling in perfect waves around her shoulders. She wore a silk dress that hugged her slim figure. Welcome home, she said, kissing him as he stepped into the hallway. It feels good to finally make this move, Marcus said, following her into the apartment. Rebecca's condo was sleek and modern with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a spectacular view of the Chicago River. I cleared half the closet for you, Rebecca said, leading him to the master bedroom, and the second bedroom can be your home office for now. For now? Marcus asked, raising an eyebrow. Rebecca smiled. Well, eventually we might need it for a nursery. I've always wanted at least 3 children. Marcus put his arms around her. That's exactly what I want too. Is everything finished with Jasmine? Rebecca asked, her voice hesitant. Completely, Marcus assured her. She understands it's over. She'll move out of the apartment within 30 days. Poor thing, Rebecca said, though her tone lacked genuine sympathy. It must be hard knowing she couldn't give you what you need. Marcus nodded. It's better this way. She'll move on. 3 days later, Jasmine forced herself to return to work at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. The pediatric unit was busy, which she welcomed as a distraction. Her colleague Tara noticed her red eyes during their morning coffee break. Jasmine, are you okay? You look like you haven't slept. Jasmine stirred her coffee slowly. Marcus left me. 3 years together, and he walked out because of my PCOS diagnosis. Tara's mouth fell open. He what? That's horrible. He's already living with someone else, Jasmine continued, a woman named Rebecca. He was seeing her for 2 months while I was researching fertility treatments. I'm so sorry, Tara said, squeezing Jasmine's hand. What a jerk. Jasmine attempted a smile. I'm staying with my sister Andrea for now. She's been amazing. If you need anything, time off, someone to talk to, someone to key his car, just let me know, Tara offered. Thank you, Jasmine said, genuinely touched. Right now, I just need to keep working. These kids need me. That evening, as Jasmine helped Andrea prepare dinner in her spacious Oak Park home, her phone chimed with a notification. She glanced down and froze. It was a social media alert showing Marcus had posted a new photo, with Rebecca at a Chicago Bulls game, both smiling widely at the camera. The caption read, "New beginnings with this amazing woman." Andrea saw Jasmine's face and grabbed the phone. That insensitive jerk, she exclaimed. He's posting about her already. Jasmine took back her phone with trembling hands and deleted the app. I can't look at this. I can't watch him build a new life while mine is in pieces. You don't need to see that, Andrea agreed. Block him everywhere. The next day, Jasmine deleted all her social media accounts. She couldn't bear to see Marcus flaunting his new relationship. Meanwhile, Marcus was introducing Rebecca to his colleagues at a business dinner. They sat at a table at Gibson's Steakhouse, everyone dressed in expensive suits and dresses. Everyone, this is Rebecca Thompson, Marcus announced proudly. She's the marketing director at Atlas Worldwide. Rebecca smiled, clearly comfortable in this setting. It's lovely to meet you all. Marcus speaks so highly of his team. Marcus's boss, David, raised his glass. To new beginnings. Everyone clinked glasses as Marcus squeezed Rebecca's hand under the table. Later that night, lying in Rebecca's bed, Marcus checked his phone to see if his social media post had gotten any reactions from mutual friends he shared with Jasmine. "What are you looking at?" Rebecca asked, peering over his shoulder. "Nothing important," Marcus replied. "Just checking some notifications." Rebecca sat up. "Are you checking to see if Jasmine saw your post?" Marcus put his phone down. "Of course not. That's over." "Is it?" Rebecca asked. "Because you seem very interested in her reaction." "I'm just curious how friends are responding," Marcus insisted. Rebecca wasn't convinced. "Marcus, I need to know that you're fully committed to us. I'm not interested in being a rebound." "You're not a rebound," Marcus assured her. "You're my future. Jasmine and I wanted different things. You and I want the same life. Success, marriage, children." Rebecca softened. "Speaking of children, I've been looking at houses in the suburbs. We should start thinking about where we want to raise our family." "Already?" Marcus asked, surprised. "It's never too early to plan," Rebecca replied. "I want to be pregnant within a year of getting married." The thought made Marcus smile. This was exactly what he wanted. A clear timeline, no obstacles. 2 weeks after moving into Andrea's house, Jasmine was sitting in the garden, watching the sunset. Andrea brought out 2 glasses of lemonade. "How are you feeling today?" Andrea asked, joining her sister on the patio swing. "A little better," Jasmine admitted. "Work helps. The kids at the hospital don't care about my broken heart. They just want someone to read them stories and check their temperature." Andrea smiled. "You've always been strongest when helping others." "I called the fertility clinic today," Jasmine said quietly. Andrea looked surprised. "Really?" Jasmine nodded. "I started treatments before Marcus left. The doctor suggested I continue to preserve my options for the future. Just because Marcus doesn't want a family with me doesn't mean I might not want children someday." "That's my brave sister," Andrea said. "Planning for the future even when the present is hard." "The doctor said my chances are about 30%, Jasmine continued. "Not great, but not impossible either. Those are better odds than the lottery, and people win that every day," Andrea pointed out. Jasmine smiled for what felt like the first time in weeks. "You're right. And anyway, it's about taking control of my own life again. My fertility doesn't depend on Marcus." 2 months passed. Marcus selected an engagement ring for Rebecca, planning a dramatic proposal during a helicopter tour of Chicago. Meanwhile, Jasmine continued her treatments, expecting nothing. Then one morning, Jasmine sat frozen in Andrea's bathroom, staring at a plastic stick in her hand. The 2 pink lines were unmistakable. She took 3 more tests from the box, watching in disbelief as each one showed the same result. With shaking hands, Jasmine called the fertility clinic. "I need to schedule an appointment," she told the receptionist. "I think I'm pregnant." Jasmine sat in the waiting room of Rush University Medical Center, her hands trembling as she filled out paperwork. 3 days had passed since those positive pregnancy tests, and she still couldn't believe it. Andrea sat beside her, a steady presence in the storm of emotions. "The doctor will see you soon," the receptionist said with a smile. Andrea squeezed her sister's hand. "Are you okay?" "I don't know," Jasmine admitted. "I never expected this to happen. The doctor said my chances were only 30%. "Well, 30% isn't 0, Andrea said. "And now here we are." Dr. Sarah Chen, a petite woman with kind eyes, called Jasmine's name 15 minutes later. Andrea followed them into the examination room. "So you took 4 home pregnancy tests and they were all positive?" Dr. Chen asked, reviewing Jasmine's chart. "Yes," Jasmine confirmed. "I've been feeling tired lately, but I thought it was just stress from everything that's happened." "Doctor," Chen nodded sympathetically. "Let's do a blood test to confirm and then an ultrasound to see how far along you are." The blood test confirmed what Jasmine already knew. She was pregnant. Dr. Chen prepared the ultrasound machine while Jasmine lay back on the examination table, her heart racing. "This will be cold," Dr. Chen warned as she applied gel to Jasmine's stomach. As the wand moved across her abdomen, Jasmine watched Dr. Chen's face. The doctor's eyes widened, and she moved the wand again, more slowly. "Is something wrong?" Jasmine asked, panic rising in her chest. Dr. Chen adjusted the screen so Jasmine and Andrea could see it. "Nothing's wrong, but I am seeing something unusual." She pointed to the screen. "Here's one embryo, and here's another, and here's a third, and a fourth." The room fell silent. "4?" Jasmine whispered finally. "Did you say 4 babies?" Dr. Chen nodded. "Yes, you're carrying quadruplets." Andrea gasped. "Oh my God!" Jasmine couldn't speak. She stared at the screen, at the 4 tiny blobs that Dr. Chen identified as her babies. "This explains why your hormone levels were so high," Dr. Chen continued. "The fertility treatment you received has resulted in a multiple pregnancy. This is unusual but not unheard of." "4 babies," Jasmine repeated, still in shock. "I'm going to have 4 babies." Dr. Chen turned serious. "A quadruplet pregnancy is considered very high risk, Jasmine. There are increased chances of complications for both you and the babies. We need to discuss your options." "Options?" Jasmine asked. "Some women in your situation choose to reduce the number of embryos to give the others a better chance of survival," Dr. Chen explained gently. "Others continue with all 4. It's a personal decision, but one you should make with full information about the risks." Jasmine looked at Andrea, whose face showed the same shock she was feeling. "I need time to think," Jasmine said. Back at Andrea's house that evening, Jasmine sat on her bed, still processing the news. 4 babies. She was going to have 4 babies. "I made you some tea," Andrea said, entering the room with a steaming mug. "How are you feeling?" "Overwhelmed," Jasmine admitted. 4 babies, Andrea. How am I supposed to raise 4 babies by myself?" "You're not by yourself," Andrea said firmly. "You have me. And Mom." Jasmine looked up. "I need to call Mom." She dialed her mother's number in Detroit. Eleanor Williams answered on the 3rd ring. "Jasmine! I was just thinking about you, sweetheart. How are you holding up?" Jasmine took a deep breath. "Mom, I'm pregnant." There was a pause on the line. "Pregnant? From Marcus?" "Yes. I started fertility treatments before he left. They worked better than anyone expected. I'm having quadruplets." The silence lasted even longer this time. "4 babies? Did you say 4 babies?" "Yes, Mom. 4. Oh my goodness," Eleanor whispered. "Jasmine, I'm coming to Chicago." "You need help." "Mom, you don't have to—" "This isn't a discussion," Eleanor interrupted. "My daughter is having 4 babies. I'm coming. I'll call the school tomorrow and arrange for a substitute." After hanging up, Jasmine felt a strange sense of calm. Her mother was coming. Andrea was here. She wasn't alone. The next week was filled with doctor appointments. Dr. Chen connected Jasmine with specialists in multiple births. At each appointment, doctors explained the risks: higher chance of premature birth, low birth weight, development complications, and health risks for Jasmine herself. The first decision you need to make is whether you want to continue with all 4 embryos, Dr. Chen explained during a follow-up visit. Jasmine had spent days researching, reading stories from other mothers of multiples, and thinking about her options. "I want to continue with all 4, she said firmly. "They're all my babies." Dr. Chen nodded. "Then we'll provide the best care possible for all 5 of you. You'll need to see me every 2 weeks, and later in the pregnancy you'll come in weekly." That night, Jasmine sat in the spare bedroom of Andrea's house. Her sister stood in the doorway watching as Jasmine measured the space. "This could be the nursery," Jasmine said. "It's big enough for 4 cribs if we arrange them right." "Are you sure about this, Jazz?" Andrea asked. "It's going to be hard." "I've never been more sure of anything," Jasmine replied. "These babies are mine. I already love them." Andrea smiled. "Then let's start planning. I'll help you clear out this room tomorrow." Later, As they sat drinking tea in the kitchen, Andrea asked the question Jasmine had been avoiding. "Are you going to tell Marcus?" Jasmine set down her mug. "I've been thinking about that a lot. Part of me wants to call him right now and tell him he's going to be a father to 4 babies, just to see the look on his face. That would be something to see," Andrea agreed. "But I'm not ready to deal with him yet," Jasmine continued. "If I tell him, he might try to come back, not for me, but for the babies. Or he might reject them too. Either way, I need time to process this myself first." "It's your decision," Andrea said, "but he is their father. I know, and I will tell him eventually, just not yet." The following weekend, Eleanor arrived from Detroit with 3 suitcases. "Mom!" Jasmine exclaimed, hugging her mother tightly. "You didn't have to bring so much." "I'm staying until these babies are born," Eleanor declared. "And probably after that too. You're going to need all the help you can get." With Eleanor's help, they began transforming the spare room into a nursery. They cleared out the furniture and painted the walls a soft yellow color that would work for any gender. "We'll need 4 of everything," Eleanor said as they browsed baby furniture online. 4 cribs, 4 car seats, 4 high chairs. "And hundreds of diapers," Andrea added. "Maybe thousands." The reality of the situation was beginning to sink in for Jasmine. 4 babies meant 4 times the expenses, 4 times the work, 4 times the challenges. But also, 4 times the love. As her first trimester neared its end, Jasmine started a pregnancy journal. She sat in the partially finished nursery, the smell of fresh paint still lingering in the air, and wrote her first entry. "Dear babies," she began, "today I heard your heartbeats for the first time. All 4 of them, strong and steady. Dr. Chen says you're all doing well. I don't know what the future holds for us, but I promise to give you all the love I have. Your Aunt Andrea and Grandma Eleanor are already so excited to meet you. One day I'll tell you about your father, but that's a complicated story for another time." She placed her hand on her still flat stomach. Soon it would begin to grow, housing the 4 little lives that were already changing everything. Despite all the uncertainty ahead, a sense of peace washed over her. These babies were her miracle, a new beginning she never expected. Dr. Chen's words from her appointment that morning echoed in her mind. "Your body is doing something extraordinary, Jasmine. The next few months won't be easy, but you're not going through this alone." As the sun set outside the nursery window, Jasmine made a silent promise to her unborn children. No matter what challenges lay ahead, she would face them with courage and love. These 4 tiny heartbeats had already given her something precious that Marcus had taken away: hope. Jasmine woke up the next morning with a new sense of purpose. Her tiny babies were counting on her. She placed her hand on her stomach and whispered good morning to them before starting her day. At 16 weeks pregnant, Jasmine sat in Dr. Chen's office for her regular checkup. Her stomach was now visibly rounded under her loose-fitting top. "Your blood pressure is higher than I'd like," Dr. Chen said, reviewing Jasmine's chart. "That's common with multiple pregnancies, but we need to watch it carefully." Jasmine nodded. "I've been feeling more tired lately. Sometimes I get dizzy when I stand up too quickly." Dr. Chen looked concerned. "Those symptoms are warning signs. Carrying 4 babies puts tremendous strain on your body. We need to discuss some changes to your routine." "What kind of changes?" Jasmine asked. "First, I think you should reduce your hours at the hospital. Standing for 12-hour shifts isn't good for you or the babies right now." Jasmine's heart sank. "But I need my job. I have medical bills and 4 babies coming." "I understand the financial concerns," Dr. Chen said gently, "but your health has to come first. Women carrying multiples have higher risks of complications like preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, and premature labor. The best thing you can do for your babies is to take care of yourself." Later that day, Jasmine sat in her supervisor's office at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. "I'm sorry to hear about the doctor's recommendations," said Maria, the nursing director. "But she's right. Your health comes first." "I can't afford to stop working completely," Jasmine explained. Maria nodded. "We can reduce you to 20 hours per week and assign you to less physically demanding duties. Would that help?" "Yes," Jasmine said with relief. "Thank you." That evening, Jasmine sat at Andrea's kitchen table with a calculator and a notepad, reviewing her finances. "Even with the reduced hours, I don't have enough saved for all the baby supplies we need," she said, rubbing her forehead. Eleanor placed a cup of herbal tea in front of her daughter. "Don't worry about money right now. I'm selling my house in Detroit." Jasmine looked up in surprise. "Mom, no. That's your home." "My home is where my family needs me," Eleanor said firmly. "The real estate agent thinks it will sell quickly. The market is good right now. But your job at the school—" "I've taken early retirement," Eleanor interrupted. 30 years of teaching is enough. My pension will help with expenses." Tears filled Jasmine's eyes. "I never meant for this to be such a burden on everyone." Andrea joined them at the table. "Family isn't a burden, Jazz. We're here for you because we love you." "Speaking of family," Andrea continued carefully, "have you thought more about telling Marcus? He should be helping with these expenses. These are his babies, too." Jasmine tensed. "I know, but every time I think about contacting him, I feel sick. What if he rejects them? What if he tries to take control?" "You can't keep this secret forever," Andrea pointed out, "especially in the age of social media." "I've deleted all my accounts," Jasmine said. "Yes, but your friends haven't. Eventually, word will get back to him." Jasmine sighed. "I'll tell him. Just not yet. I need to be stronger first." While Jasmine was adjusting to her new reality, Marcus and Rebecca had become one of Chicago's most visible couples. They appeared at charity events, were photographed at exclusive restaurants, and had recently been featured in Chicago's social pages after attending a gala at the Art Institute. In Rebecca's downtown condo, she scrolled through wedding venues on her laptop, while Marcus reviewed work documents beside her. "What do you think of the Chicago Botanic Garden for a June wedding?" Rebecca asked. "They have an opening next summer." Marcus looked at the screen. "It's beautiful. But that's more than a year away." Rebecca smiled. "Good things take planning. And I want everything to be perfect." She closed the laptop and turned to face him. "I've been thinking about our future a lot. After we're married, I'd like to start trying for a baby right away." "Really?" Marcus smiled. "I thought you might want to wait a year or two." Rebecca shook her head. "I'm 30. You're 35. If we want 3 children, we should start soon." She reached for her phone. "I've actually downloaded this fertility app. It tracks my cycle and identifies the best days for conception." Marcus looked surprised. "You've really thought this through?" "Of course," Rebecca said. "I'm a planner, just like you. That's why we're perfect for each other." Back at Andrea's house, Jasmine experienced a sharp pain in her abdomen while preparing dinner. She gasped and grabbed the counter for support. "Jasmine!" Eleanor rushed to her side. "What's wrong?" "Just a cramp," Jasmine said through gritted teeth. "It's probably nothing." But when the pain returned, stronger this time, Eleanor insisted on calling Dr. Chen. Within 30 minutes, they were at the emergency room. The doctor on duty quickly examined Jasmine. "Your blood pressure is dangerously high. We need to admit you for monitoring." Jasmine spent 3 days in the hospital. The babies were fine, but the doctors diagnosed her with early signs of preeclampsia, a serious condition that required careful management. "This is why multiple pregnancies need close monitoring," Dr. Chen explained during her hospital visit. "Your body is working incredibly hard to support 4 growing babies." When Jasmine returned home, she found that Eleanor and Andrea had rearranged the dining room. "What's all this?" she asked, noticing a new hospital-style bed where the dining table used to be. "You need to rest more," Eleanor explained. The doctor said bed rest might be necessary soon. We're getting prepared." Jasmine felt overwhelmed by their kindness. "Thank you both so much." The following week, Jasmine attended her first meeting of the multiple support group at Rush University Medical Center. She sat quietly at first, listening as other women shared their experiences. "I'm Lisa," said a friendly woman with curly red hair who sat down beside her. "First time here?" Jasmine nodded. "Yes, I'm expecting quadruplets." Lisa's eyes widened. "Wow, I'm having twins and thought that was challenging. How far along are you?" 17 weeks, Jasmine replied. "Me too," Lisa smiled. "Are you here alone?" "Today, yes. My mom and sister have been amazing support, though." "And your partner?" Lisa asked. Jasmine hesitated. "It's complicated. We're not together." Lisa nodded sympathetically. "Single mom by choice?" "Not exactly," Jasmine admitted. "He left me when he found out I had PCOS. He wanted someone fertile. Then the fertility treatments I'd already started worked a little too well." Lisa's mouth fell open. "He left because of PCOS. What an idiot. Does he know about the babies?" "Not yet," Jasmine said. "I know I need to tell him. I'm just not ready." After the meeting, Jasmine exchanged phone numbers with Lisa. It felt good to talk with someone who understood the unique challenges of a multiple pregnancy. When Jasmine got home, she found a large envelope waiting for her. Inside was an unexpected bill from the hospital for her recent stay, $7,000 that her insurance wouldn't cover. Andrea found her sitting at the kitchen table staring at the bill. "That's a lot of money," Andrea said, looking over Jasmine's shoulder. "Too much money," Jasmine agreed. "And there will be more bills coming. The delivery alone will cost thousands." Andrea sat across from her sister. "Jazz, I hate to push this, but Marcus needs to know. He should be helping with these expenses." Jasmine looked down at her growing stomach, then at the bill again. Her sister was right. Marcus had financial responsibilities to these children, regardless of their personal history. "I'll tell him," she said finally, "after the babies are born and healthy. I need to focus on keeping them safe right now. Once they're here, I'll have the strength to deal with Marcus." Andrea nodded, understanding her sister's need to protect herself during this vulnerable time. That night, Jasmine sat in the nursery, surrounded by the 4 cribs they had assembled. She wrote in her pregnancy journal, her words reflecting her growing determination. "Dear babies," she wrote, "today I felt all of you moving inside me. The doctor says you're all healthy and growing well. I promise to keep you safe for as long as I can. Your father doesn't know about you yet. Someday he will. But for now, we have each other. Plus Grandma and Aunt Andrea. That's enough." As Jasmine closed her journal, she didn't know that across town, Marcus was finalizing plans that would change everything. A helicopter proposal designed to cement his future with Rebecca. Marcus stood in the jeweler's private viewing room on Michigan Avenue, examining 3 diamond rings displayed on black velvet. "This one is 3 carats, excellent clarity," the jeweler explained, pointing to the largest ring. "It makes quite a statement." Marcus picked it up, imagining it on Rebecca's finger as he proposed during their helicopter tour of Chicago. "I'll take it," he said confidently. "And the photographer is confirmed for Saturday?" "Yes, sir. Everything is arranged as you requested." While Marcus planned his perfect proposal, Jasmine struggled to climb the stairs to Dr. Chen's office for her 20-week appointment. Her stomach had grown dramatically, making movement increasingly difficult. Eleanor held her arm for support. "Almost there," Eleanor encouraged. "Just a few more steps." In the examination room, Dr. Chen frowned as she checked Jasmine's blood pressure. "This isn't good," she said. "Your blood pressure is dangerously high again, and there's protein in your urine." She looked directly at Jasmine. "These are signs of preeclampsia." "What does that mean?" Jasmine asked. "It means I'm putting you on complete bed rest," Dr. Chen said firmly. "Starting today. No work, no stairs, No housework. You need to be lying down or reclining most of the day." Jasmine's face fell. "For how long?" "For the remainder of your pregnancy," Dr. Chen answered. "I know it's difficult news, but this is necessary to protect you and your babies." The next day, Jasmine sat tearfully in her supervisor's office at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. "I need to take medical leave," she explained, handing over the paperwork. "Dr. Chen says I can't work at all until after the babies are born." Maria, her supervisor, read through the documents. "Of course. Your health comes first." "I'm worried about money," Jasmine admitted. "The hospital bills are already piling up." Maria reached across the desk and squeezed Jasmine's hand. "Let us help you. The nursing staff cares about you." That weekend, while Jasmine settled into her new bed rest routine, Marcus led Rebecca to a waiting helicopter at Chicago Executive Airport. She wore a red dress and looked confused when she saw the photographer. "What's going on?" she asked. "Just a surprise," Marcus replied with a smile. "The photographer is going to capture our tour." As the helicopter lifted into the clear blue sky, Rebecca gazed in wonder at the Chicago skyline. Marcus signaled to the pilot, who circled toward Lake Michigan just as the sun began to set. "It's beautiful," Rebecca breathed, looking out the window. Marcus reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. When Rebecca turned back to him, he was holding the 3-carat diamond ring. "Rebecca Thompson," he said, his voice amplified through the headset. "Will you marry me?" Rebecca's hands flew to her mouth as the photographer captured her reaction. "Yes!" she exclaimed. "Yes, of course!" Marcus slipped the ring onto her finger as the helicopter circled over the glittering city. Meanwhile, Andrea and Eleanor had transformed the dining room into a comfortable space for Jasmine's bed rest. They moved in a hospital-style bed, a small refrigerator, a television, and a bookshelf within easy reach. "We want you to be comfortable," Andrea explained. "Mom and I will handle everything else." Jasmine looked around the room, tears in her eyes. "Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without you both." Eleanor adjusted Jasmine's pillows. "Family takes care of family. Now all you need to focus on is keeping those babies healthy." The next day, Jasmine received a surprise video call. It was Maria from the hospital. "Can you join this call for a few minutes?" Maria asked. "There are some people who want to say hello." Suddenly, the screen filled with familiar faces. At least 20 of Jasmine's nursing colleagues had gathered in the break room. "Surprise!" they called out together. "We wanted to have a baby shower for you," explained Tara, Jasmine's closest work friend. "Since you can't come to us, we're having a virtual one." For the next hour, Jasmine watched as her colleagues showed her the gifts they had collected: baby clothes, diapers, formula, and 4 identical stuffed bears. "There's one more thing," Maria said. "We took up a collection." She held up a check. "It's not enough to cover all your medical expenses, but we hope it helps." Jasmine gasped when she saw the amount: $5,000. "I don't know what to say," she whispered, wiping away tears. "You don't need to say anything," Tara replied. "Just take care of yourself and those babies. We miss you." 3 weeks later, Jasmine lay on an examination table for her ultrasound. Dr. Chen moved the wand over her now very large belly. "Let's check on these little ones," she said. As Jasmine watched the screen, Dr. Chen grew quiet, focusing intently on one area, then another. "Is something wrong?" Jasmine asked, fear creeping into her voice. Dr. Chen set down the ultrasound wand and took a deep breath. "Jasmine, I need to discuss something important with you." Eleanor, who had accompanied Jasmine to the appointment, moved closer to hold her daughter's hand. "Baby C is significantly smaller than the others," Dr. Chen explained. "This condition is called selective intrauterine growth restriction. It means this baby isn't getting as many nutrients as the others." "What can we do?" Jasmine asked. "There are limited options with quadruplets," Dr. Chen said gently. "One option is selective reduction." Jasmine went cold. You mean terminating one of the babies? Yes, Dr. Chen nodded. Reducing to triplets could improve the chances for the remaining 3. It's a very difficult decision, but it's something you need to consider. No, Jasmine said immediately. I'm not giving up on any of them. Jasmine, Dr. Chen continued, I understand your feelings, but carrying all 4 babies puts you at serious risk too. Your preeclampsia is worsening. There's danger to you as well as the babies. I need to think about this, Jasmine said quietly. That evening, as Jasmine lay in her bed, she picked up a magazine Eleanor had brought from the doctor's waiting room. Flipping through it absently, she suddenly froze. There, in the Power Couples section of Chicago magazine, was a full-page photo of Marcus and Rebecca. The headline read, Investment Banker Finds Perfect Match, Chicago Power Couple Plans, Dream Wedding and Family. Jasmine read the caption underneath. Marcus Johnson proposed to marketing executive Rebecca Thompson during a romantic helicopter ride. The couple plans to marry in June and start a family immediately thereafter. She stared at Marcus's smiling face. He looked so happy, so certain of his future. And here she was, carrying his 4 children, facing an impossible decision. When Andrea came to check on her, she found Jasmine crying. What's wrong? Andrea asked, rushing to her sister's side. Jasmine handed her the magazine. He's engaged. They're planning to start a family right away. Andrea scanned the article. Oh, Jazz, I'm so sorry. Dr. Chen wants me to consider selective reduction, Jasmine said suddenly. Baby C is smaller than the others. It might not survive. Andrea sat on the edge of the bed. What do you want to do? I want all my babies, Jasmine said firmly. Every single one. I can't choose between them. The next day, Jasmine called an online meeting with her support group. Lisa and 3 other women appeared on the screen. I need your advice, Jasmine explained. The doctor suggested selective reduction because 1 baby is smaller. I'm scared, but I don't want to give up. Lisa spoke first. My doctor suggested the same when one of my twins wasn't growing well. I decided to continue with both. It was terrifying, but they're both healthy now. Another woman, Melissa, nodded. Every case is different. There's no right answer. You have to follow your heart. After talking with her support group, consulting with Eleanor and Andrea, and spending a night in prayer, Jasmine made her decision. The following morning, she called Dr. Chen. I've decided to continue with all 4 babies, she said. I understand the risks, but I need to give each of them a chance. Dr. Chen's voice was gentle. I respect your decision. We'll increase your monitoring and do everything possible to support all 5 of you. That night, Jasmine added a new entry to her pregnancy journal. Dear babies, she wrote, today I fought for all of you. Your father is planning a new life that doesn't include us, but that's okay. We have each other. And I promise I will always fight to keep our family together, all of us. She placed her hand on her rounded belly and felt a strong kick from within. Despite the fear and uncertainty, Jasmine smiled. These were her children, and nothing. Not Marcus's abandonment, not medical complications, not financial worries, would stop her from bringing them safely into the world. Jasmine smiled as another kick came from inside her belly. That one had to be baby A, already the strongest of the 4, according to Dr. Chen. Each day, her connection to the babies grew stronger, as did her determination to prepare for their arrival despite being confined to bed. I felt another strong kick, Jasmine told Eleanor, who was arranging fresh flowers on the bedside table. Right here. She pointed to the upper left side of her stomach. Eleanor placed her hand gently where Jasmine indicated. Oh, I felt it too. That's a strong baby. Since I can't move around much, I need to use this time wisely, Jasmine said, opening her laptop. I found an online course about caring for multiple babies. Eleanor sat in the chair beside the bed. That's a wonderful idea. What does it cover? Everything. Feeding schedules, sleep routines, how to hold multiple babies at once. It's taught by a nurse who had triplets. For the next hour, Jasmine watched videos and took notes. When Andrea came home from her teaching job, she joined them. "How was school today?" Jasmine asked. "The usual chaos," Andrea replied with a smile. "The high school kids are excited about spring break next month." She peered at Jasmine's screen. "What are you studying?" "How to care for multiple babies. Did you know newborn quadruplets might need feeding 12 times a day each? That's 48 feedings in 24 hours. Andrea's eyes widened. "That's one feeding every 30 minutes. "Which is why we'll need a system," Eleanor said. "And plenty of help." The doorbell rang and Andrea went to answer it. She returned with Lisa and 2 other women from Jasmine's support group. "Surprise visit," Lisa announced, carrying a basket of fruit. "We thought you might like some company." Jasmine's face lit up. "This is perfect timing." "I was just learning about feeding schedules." The women spent the afternoon sharing advice and stories. One of them, Melissa, had successfully delivered triplets 6 months earlier. "The best advice I can give is to accept all help offered," Melissa said, "and don't try to be perfect. Some days, success is just keeping everyone fed and changed." After they left, Jasmine felt energized despite her physical limitations. "These women understand what I'm going through in a way no one else can. That's why support groups exist," Eleanor said, "to connect people facing the same challenges." The next morning, Eleanor received a call from her real estate agent in Detroit. "Really? That's wonderful news," Eleanor said into the phone. "Yes, I'll review the offer right away." After hanging up, she turned to Jasmine with excitement. "Someone wants to buy my house. Full asking price, quick closing." "That's great, Mom," Jasmine said. "But are you sure about this? Detroit has been your home for 30 years. Eleanor sat on the edge of Jasmine's bed. "I'm sure. My home is where my family needs me, and right now that's here in Chicago with you and these babies." "What about all your things?" Jasmine asked. "Most of it can be donated. I'll keep the important pieces, the family photos, your father's books. The rest is just stuff." Jasmine reached for her mother's hand. "Thank you. I don't know how I'd do this without you." "You'll never have to find out," Eleanor promised. Across town, Rebecca and Marcus sat in the office of a wedding planner in downtown Chicago. "June 12th would be perfect," Rebecca said, looking at the calendar. "That gives us 8 months to plan." The wedding planner, a stylish woman named Gabrielle, made notes. "June is a popular month. We should secure your venue immediately." "Cost isn't an issue," Marcus added. "We want the best." After the meeting, as they walked along Michigan Avenue, Rebecca casually mentioned, "I have an appointment next week that I should add to our shared calendar." "What kind of appointment?" Marcus asked. Rebecca hesitated. "It's with Dr. Hartman. She's a fertility specialist." Marcus stopped walking. "A fertility specialist? Isn't that premature? We're not even married yet." "It's just a consultation," Rebecca explained, "to make sure everything's optimal before we start trying. I want to be prepared." "Is this because of what happened with Jasmine?" Marcus asked, his tone defensive. "Do you think I'm only interested in having children?" "No, of course not," Rebecca assured him. "But we both want children right away after the wedding. I'm just being proactive." She showed him her phone. "Look, I've been tracking my cycle with this app. If we time our honeymoon right, we could conceive during our first month of marriage." Marcus stared at the app with its calendar of fertile days highlighted in pink. "You're really serious about this?" "Of course I am," Rebecca said. "Aren't you?" Back at Andrea's house, Jasmine was experiencing a different kind of planning session. A lawyer named Sarah Coleman had come for a home visit to discuss legal matters. "Thank you for coming here," Jasmine said. "Bed rest makes office visits impossible." "Happy to help," Sarah replied, setting up her laptop on a portable table across Jasmine's bed. "Your sister mentioned you want to prepare several important documents." "Yes," Jasmine confirmed. A will, guardianship papers, and possibly something about child support. Sarah nodded. Let's start with the will and guardianship. Who do you want to name as guardian for the children if something happens to you? My sister Andrea, Jasmine said without hesitation, with my mother Eleanor as the secondary guardian. As they worked through the documents, Jasmine tried to keep her voice steady. Thinking about not being there for her children was terrifying, but she needed to be practical. Now, regarding child support, Sarah continued, you mentioned the children's father doesn't know about the pregnancy yet? That's right, Jasmine confirmed. He ended our relationship when he learned I had PCOS. He wanted someone fertile. Sarah's expression darkened. I see. Well, regardless of his actions, he has legal and financial responsibilities to these children. Once they're born, we can file for child support based on paternity testing. That evening, as Jasmine reviewed the draft documents Sarah had prepared, she felt her blood pressure rising. The stress of thinking about Marcus, money, and her health was overwhelming. My head hurts, she told Andrea, rubbing her temples. Andrea looked concerned. Let me take your blood pressure. She reached for the monitor they kept beside the bed. The reading was alarmingly high. 160 over 100, Andrea read, her voice tight with worry. I'm calling Dr. Chen. Within 30 minutes, an ambulance arrived. The paramedics moved quickly, transferring Jasmine to a stretcher. Blood pressure is still elevated, one of them reported. We need to move fast. At Rush University Medical Center, Jasmine was rushed to the high-risk pregnancy unit. Dr. Chen met them there. Severe preeclampsia, she confirmed after examining Jasmine. We need to start magnesium sulfate immediately to prevent seizures. Eleanor and Andrea waited anxiously as the medical team worked. After an hour, Dr. Chen came to update them. We've stabilized her blood pressure, but this is serious. She'll need to stay in the hospital for at least 3 days while we monitor her and the babies. Are the babies in danger? Eleanor asked. Not immediately, Dr. Chen replied. But preeclampsia can progress quickly. At 24 weeks, the babies would face serious challenges if born now. Our goal is to keep Jasmine pregnant for as long as safely possible. 3 days later, Jasmine returned home with strict instructions and additional medications. As she settled back into her bed, she looked more seriously at the legal documents waiting for her signature. I need to finish these, she told Andrea. Just in case. Andrea sat beside her. Nothing is going to happen to you. We don't know that, Jasmine said quietly. I need to make sure the babies are protected no matter what. She signed the will and guardianship papers, making Andrea the legal guardian of all 4 babies if anything happened to her. There's one more thing, Jasmine said. I want to write a letter to each baby. Something they can read someday that tells them how much I wanted them, how hard I fought to keep them safe. Andrea handed her a notebook. That's a beautiful idea. As Jasmine began writing, her phone calendar sent a notification. She glanced at the screen and froze. The date displayed was 8 weeks away, with a note she had written months ago. Marcus and Rebecca's engagement party, the signature room. She had forgotten about the invitation she'd received before deleting her social media accounts, before she knew she was pregnant, before everything changed. 8 more weeks, she whispered, placing her hand on her belly. By then, you might be ready to meet the world. Jasmine stared at the calendar on her phone. 8 weeks. That meant she would be just past 7 months pregnant when Marcus and Rebecca celebrated their engagement. The timing felt strange, as if her life and Marcus's were still somehow connected despite their separation. What are you looking at? Andrea asked, noticing Jasmine's expression. Marcus and Rebecca's engagement party is exactly 8 weeks from today, Jasmine replied. At the signature room on the 95th floor of the old Hancock building. Andrea sat on the edge of the bed. Does that bother you? Jasmine shook her head. Not the way you think. It's just odd timing. Dr. Chen said the babies might come around then too. The next day, At Jasmine's weekly appointment, Dr. Chen confirmed her observation. "You're entering your 7th month," Dr. Chen said as she examined Jasmine. "With quadruplets, we typically schedule delivery between 32 and 34 weeks to balance lung development with the risks of keeping them in longer." "Is that safe?" Eleanor asked from her seat nearby. "It's the safest option," Dr. Chen explained. "The longer the pregnancy continues, the more Jasmine's body is strained. And with her preeclampsia, we have to be very careful." "So when would the C-section be?" Jasmine asked. Dr. Chen checked her calendar. "If everything remains stable, we'll schedule it for the beginning of your 8th month. That's about 7 weeks from now." Jasmine looked at Eleanor. "That's right around the time of the engagement party." Back at home, Andrea had been busy transforming the downstairs guest room into a recovery space for Jasmine after she returned from the hospital. "I moved the hospital bed in here," Andrea explained when Jasmine returned from her appointment. "This way you won't have to climb stairs after your C-section." Jasmine looked around the newly arranged room. "You've thought of everything." "Not just me," Andrea replied. "Mom has been cooking non-stop. The freezer is packed with meals we can heat up after the babies arrive." Eleanor appeared in the doorway. "I've made lasagna, chicken soup, and 3 different casseroles so far. I'm stocking a second freezer in the garage, too." "You two are amazing," Jasmine said, her eyes filling with tears. "I don't know what I'd do without you." That afternoon, Jasmine worked on her birth plan while still confined to bed. Lisa from her support group had shared a template specifically designed for multiple births. "I need to decide who will be in the operating room with me," Jasmine told Eleanor. "Only one person is allowed." "Whoever you want, dear," Eleanor said. "Andrea or me, we're both happy to be there." Jasmine thought for a moment. "I'd like you there, Mom. Andrea can be the first to greet the babies after they're born." As Jasmine wrote this down, she also added other preferences: immediate skin-to-skin contact if possible, saving the umbilical cords for banking, and a strong desire to breastfeed all 4 babies, despite the challenges. The next day, a delivery arrived from Lisa and the other support group members, 4 identical baby memory books, each in a different color. "These are beautiful," Jasmine said as she opened the package. "Blue for baby A, green for baby B, yellow for baby C, and pink for baby D." "What lovely gifts," Eleanor remarked. "Your friends are so thoughtful." Jasmine traced her finger over the covers. "I should start packing my hospital bag. And I need 4 coming home outfits for the babies." Eleanor nodded. "I'll help you choose them. We can order online." Together, they selected 4 soft onesies in the same colors as the memory books. Jasmine added them to her hospital bag along with comfortable clothes for herself, toiletries, and a special blanket her father had given her before he died. Meanwhile, across town, Marcus and Rebecca were at a stationery shop on Michigan Avenue, finalizing the invitations for their engagement party. "What do you think of this design?" "This?" Rebecca asked, showing Marcus an elegant card with silver embossing. "It's perfect," Marcus agreed. "Very sophisticated." The shop owner waited as they discussed the guest list. "We need 80 invitations," Rebecca decided, "and please rush the order. The party is in 7 weeks." As they left the shop, Rebecca linked her arm through Marcus's. "The engagement party will be amazing. I've reserved the entire east side of the signature room. The view of Lake Michigan at sunset is spectacular." "It sounds perfect," Marcus said. "And I've been thinking," Rebecca continued, "after the engagement party, we should start trying for a baby right away." Marcus stopped walking. "Before the wedding? I thought we agreed to wait until after." Rebecca shook her head. "I don't want to wait. My fertility doctor says everything looks good, but at 30 I shouldn't delay." "You've already seen a fertility doctor?" Marcus asked, surprised. "Of course," Rebecca replied. "I wanted to make sure there wouldn't be any issues." She hesitated. "Not like with Jasmine." Marcus frowned. "That's different." Jasmine has PCOS. And I don't, Rebecca said firmly. I'm perfectly healthy and fertile. The doctor confirmed it. I've already started taking prenatal vitamins. Back at Andrea's house, Jasmine was experiencing another spike in blood pressure. Eleanor took the reading twice to be sure. 158/98, she reported. Not as high as last time, but still concerning. I'll call Dr. Chen, Andrea said, reaching for her phone. After speaking with the doctor, Andrea returned to Jasmine's room. She wants you to come in tomorrow for monitoring, not the emergency room this time, just the outpatient clinic. The next day, Jasmine spent 6 hours at Rush University Medical Center while nurses monitored her blood pressure and the baby's heartbeats. All 4 heartbeats remain strong, the nurse assured her. But your blood pressure is still higher than we'd like. Dr. Chen came in later with news. I want to move up your C-section date. 32 weeks instead of 34. That's 6 weeks from now. Is that safe for the babies? Jasmine asked anxiously. At 32 weeks, they'll need time in the NICU, but their chances are excellent, Dr. Chen explained. The bigger concern right now is your health. The longer we wait, the greater the risk to you. That evening, Jasmine sat propped up in bed thinking about Dr. Chen's words. She took out a notebook and began writing. Dear Marcus, she began, by the time you read this, you will be a father to 4 children. I know this will come as a shock. She paused, crossing out the lines. This wasn't right. Starting over, she wrote, Dear Marcus, I am writing to inform you that I am pregnant with quadruplets. They are your children. Again, she stopped. The formal tone felt wrong too. After several more attempts, Jasmine set the notebook aside. Finding the right words was harder than she expected. Having trouble? Andrea asked, entering with a cup of herbal tea. I'm trying to write a letter to Marcus about the babies, Jasmine explained. Something I can give him after they're born. But everything I write sounds wrong. Maybe because a letter isn't the right approach, Andrea suggested. This is something that should be done in person. Jasmine sighed. You're right. But I'm scared, Andrea. What if he rejects them? What if he tries to take them away from me? He won't get custody over you, Andrea said firmly. No judge would separate newborn quadruplets from their mother, especially one who's done everything to protect them. But he could make things difficult, Jasmine worried. He has money for expensive lawyers. I don't. Let's focus on one thing at a time, Andrea advised. First, you need to have these babies safely. Then we'll deal with Marcus. The following week, Lisa came to visit with her twin boys, now 4 months old. They're getting so big, Jasmine marveled as she held one of the babies. It happens fast, Lisa agreed. One day they're in the NICU, the next they're trying to roll over. Jasmine looked down at her enormous belly. I'm trying to imagine 4 of them. It's hard to picture. You'll manage, Lisa assured her. One day at a time. That's the only way. Before leaving, Lisa helped Jasmine finish packing her hospital bag. You never know when you might need it, she said. My water broke 3 weeks early. No warning at all. That night, as Jasmine tried to find a comfortable position to sleep, she felt a strange tightening across her abdomen. It wasn't painful, just unusual. When it happened again 20 minutes later, she called for Eleanor. I think I'm having Braxton Hicks contractions, she explained. Eleanor timed the next one. They're irregular, so probably not real labor. But let's call Dr. Chen to be sure. After speaking with the doctor, Eleanor reassured Jasmine. She says it's normal at this stage, especially with multiples. But if they become regular or painful, we need to go to the hospital immediately. The next morning, Jasmine felt better. She spent the day reviewing the online courses she'd taken about caring for multiples and making notes for Andrea and Eleanor. 4 babies mean 24 diapers a day, she calculated. And if they eat every 3 hours, that's 32 feedings in 24 hours between them. Eleanor smiled. We'll manage. Between the 3 of us, plus your support group friends who've offered to help, we'll figure it out. As the sun set, Jasmine looked at her calendar again. Marcus and Rebecca's engagement party was exactly 5 weeks away now, the same week as her scheduled C-section. "It's strange," she told Andrea. "When he left, I thought our lives would go in completely different directions. But on the same day he's celebrating his engagement, I might be giving birth to his children." "Life has a way of connecting things we think are separate," Andrea replied. "Are you ready for that?" Jasmine placed her hand on her belly, feeling the movements of her 4 babies. "I'm ready for whatever comes next. These babies are my priority now. Everything else, including Marcus, will have to wait his turn." The next few weeks passed in a blur of preparations. Jasmine's due date approached as she continued her bed rest, her body growing more uncomfortable each day. The babies were developing well, but Jasmine's blood pressure remained a constant concern. On the evening of October 15th, Marcus and Rebecca stood at the entrance of the signature room on the 95th floor of the former John Hancock Center. Rebecca wore a silver dress that sparkled under the lights, while Marcus looked polished in his black suit. "Everything looks perfect," Rebecca said, surveying the decorated space. White roses and candles adorned each table, and floor-to-ceiling windows offered spectacular views of Chicago at night. "Only the best for us," Marcus replied, kissing her cheek. As their first guests arrived, Marcus felt his phone vibrate. He glanced at the screen, a text from his mother wishing him congratulations. He smiled, tucking the phone away. Tonight was about celebrating his perfect future with Rebecca. Across town, Jasmine was watching television with Andrea when she felt a sharp pain in her lower abdomen. "Ouch!" she winced, pressing her hand to her side. "What is it?" Andrea asked, immediately alert. "Just a cramp, I think," Jasmine replied. "Different from the Braxton Hicks I've been having." Andrea checked the time. "Let's see if it happens again." When another pain hit 7 minutes later, Andrea's concern grew. "I think we should call Dr. Chen." While Andrea made the call, Jasmine shifted uncomfortably on the bed. Something felt different tonight. As she attempted to sit up, she felt a sudden gush of warm fluid. "Andrea!" she called out, panicked. "My water broke!" Andrea rushed back into the room, phone still at her ear. "Her water just broke," she told Dr. Chen. "Yes, okay, we're leaving now." Eleanor appeared in the doorway, already grabbing Jasmine's hospital bag. "I heard. The car is ready." "Dr. Chen says to come straight to Rush," Andrea explained, helping Jasmine stand. "She's alerting the medical team." The pain intensified as Andrea and Eleanor helped Jasmine to the car. "It's too early," Jasmine gasped between contractions. "They're not due for another 2 weeks." "The babies will be fine," Eleanor assured her, though her voice betrayed her worry. "Dr. Chen is waiting for us." At the signature room, Marcus stood at the center of the party, champagne glass raised as he addressed their 80 guests. "Rebecca and I want to thank you all for sharing this special evening with us," he said smoothly. "When I planned my future, I knew exactly what I wanted: success, the perfect partner, and a family to carry on my legacy." Rebecca beamed beside him as he continued. "In Rebecca, I found someone who shares my vision, someone who understands the importance of planning for the perfect life." He turned to her. "Together, we'll build the family we both want." The guests applauded as Marcus and Rebecca kissed. Everything was proceeding exactly according to plan. Meanwhile, Jasmine was being rushed into an operating room at Rush University Medical Center. Her contractions were coming faster now, and her blood pressure had spiked to dangerous levels. "We need to perform an emergency C-section," Dr. Chen explained as nurses prepared Jasmine. "Your blood pressure is too high and baby C is showing signs of distress." "Is it safe?" Jasmine asked, terrified. "They're early." 30 weeks is early, but not dangerously so," Dr. Chen assured her. "We have an excellent NICU team standing by." Eleanor, dressed in surgical scrubs, held Jasmine's hand as the anesthesiologist administered the spinal block. "I'm right here, sweetheart. You're doing great." The operating room was a flurry of activity as 16 medical professionals prepared for the quadruple delivery. Jasmine lay awake but numb as Dr. Chen made the first incision. "You'll feel some pressure," the doctor warned. Minutes later, a tiny cry filled the room. "Baby A is here," Dr. Chen announced. "A boy!" Jasmine craned her neck, trying to see her son as a nurse quickly whisked him to a warming table where the NICU team waited. "Baby B coming now," Dr. Chen called. "Another boy!" Tears streamed down Jasmine's face as she heard the second cry, slightly softer than the first. "Baby C," Dr. Chen continued. "A girl!" There was a tense moment of silence before the third cry came, weaker but determined. "Last one," Dr. Chen said. "Baby D is a girl." The fourth cry joined the chorus as Jasmine sobbed with relief. All 4 babies were here and breathing on their own. "Can I see them?" she asked. A nurse brought each swaddled infant close to Jasmine's face for a brief moment before they were taken to the NICU. "They're beautiful," Eleanor whispered, her own eyes wet with tears. 4 perfect babies," Jasmine agreed. 2 boys and 2 girls. As the medical team closed Jasmine's incision, she found herself wondering if Marcus was still at his engagement party, celebrating his future family, unaware that his children had just entered the world. 3 weeks later, Jasmine sat beside the NICU incubators that housed her babies. They had grown stronger each day, and the doctors were pleased with their progress. "They'll be ready to go home next week," the NICU nurse told Jasmine. "All 4 are doing remarkably well for 30-week preemies." Jasmine smiled, touching each plastic housing gently. "They're fighters." That evening, back at Andrea's house where she was recovering from her C-section, Jasmine made a decision. "I need to tell Marcus," she said to Andrea and Eleanor as they sat in the living room. "He has a right to know about his children." "Are you sure you're ready?" Eleanor asked. Jasmine nodded. "The babies will be home soon. He should know before someone else tells him." "How will you do it?" Andrea asked. "I'll text him," Jasmine decided. "Ask to meet somewhere neutral." She picked up her phone and typed a simple message. "Marcus, I need to speak with you about something important. Can we meet at your building tomorrow at 3? His reply came faster than she expected. "What is this about, Jasmine?" She responded, "I'd rather explain in person. It's important." After a long pause, "Fine." 15 minutes. The lobby of my building. The next day, Andrea drove Jasmine to Marcus's downtown address. The 4 babies were securely fastened in their car seats in the back. "Are you sure about this?" Andrea asked as she parked. Jasmine took a deep breath. "Yes. Will you help me with the strollers?" They unloaded 4 baby strollers and arranged them on the sidewalk outside the building's entrance. Each baby was dressed in the color Jasmine had chosen for them: blue for Ethan, green for Noah, yellow for Maya, and pink for Olivia. Jasmine texted Marcus, "I'm outside your building." A minute later, Marcus emerged from the glass doors, his expression changing from irritation to shock as he saw the line of strollers. Rebecca appeared behind him, curious about what was happening. "Jasmine?" Marcus said, his voice barely audible. "What is this?" "Meet your children, Marcus," Jasmine said calmly. "Olivia, Ethan, Maya, and Noah Johnson." Marcus stared at the 4 tiny faces, his mouth opening and closing without words. Rebecca pushed past him, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Your children?" she demanded. "What is she talking about, Marcus?" "I never said I couldn't have children," Jasmine explained, looking directly at Rebecca. "I have PCOS, which made it more difficult, not impossible. I had already started fertility treatments before Marcus left me. The doctor gave me a 30% chance of conceiving." She glanced at the babies. "I just happened to hit the fertility jackpot." Rebecca turned to Marcus, her face flushing with anger. "You told me she was infertile. That's why you left her." "I said she had fertility issues," Marcus stammered, still staring at the babies. "No," Jasmine corrected. "You said you needed someone fertile, someone who could give you children." She gestured to the strollers. "Well, here are your children, Marcus. 4 of them." Rebecca's shock turned to fury. "You lied to me. All this time, you made it sound like she couldn't have children at all." She looked at Jasmine. "Did he leave you specifically because of your PCOS?" Jasmine nodded. "The same day I got my diagnosis. He already had you lined up." Rebecca stepped back, her engagement ring catching the sunlight. "So when I told you I'd seen a fertility specialist to make sure I was healthy, that was all that mattered to you? Whether I could have babies?" "Rebecca, it wasn't like that," Marcus protested. "How old are they?" Rebecca asked Jasmine, ignoring Marcus. 3 weeks, Jasmine replied. "They were born the night of your engagement party." Rebecca's face softened as she looked at the babies. Then she turned to Marcus, her expression hardening again. She twisted the diamond ring off her finger and placed it in his hand. "I won't marry a man who abandons a woman because of a medical condition," she said coldly. "A man who lies about why he ended his previous relationship. I want you out of my condo by tonight." "Rebecca, please," Marcus began. But she was already walking away. Marcus stood frozen on the sidewalk, the engagement ring in one hand, staring at the 4 babies who shared his features. Ethan's strong chin, Noah's dark eyes, Maya's determined expression, Olivia's thoughtful gaze. "They're really mine?" he asked finally. "Yes," Jasmine confirmed. "You can take a paternity test if you want, but yes, they're yours." Marcus looked up at her, his carefully constructed world crumbling around him. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing yet," Jasmine replied. "I just thought you should know you have 4 children. What you do with that information is up to you." As she and Andrea prepared to leave with the babies, Marcus called out, "Wait! Can I hold one of them?" Jasmine hesitated, then nodded. "This is Ethan," she said, carefully lifting the baby from his blue stroller. "He was born first." As Marcus awkwardly cradled his son, the tiny hand wrapped around his finger. In that moment, standing on a Chicago sidewalk with his perfect plans in ruins, Marcus Johnson faced the consequences of his choices and the unexpected legacy he had created. Marcus stared at the tiny baby in his arms. Ethan's small fingers wrapped around his index finger, creating a feeling in his chest that Marcus had never experienced before. "He has your eyes," Jasmine said softly. After a moment, Marcus carefully handed Ethan back to Jasmine. "I need time to process this," he said, his voice unsteady. "Can I call you tomorrow?" Jasmine nodded as she secured Ethan in his stroller. "The babies and I are staying at Andrea's house in Oak Park." As Jasmine and Andrea wheeled the 4 strollers away, Marcus stood alone on the sidewalk, still holding Rebecca's engagement ring. His perfect life had shattered in less than 15 minutes. That evening, Marcus checked into the Palmer House Hotel in downtown Chicago. He sat on the edge of the king-sized bed surrounded by hastily packed suitcases. Rebecca had changed the locks on her condo and left his belongings with the doorman. He called his parents in Boston, dreading the conversation. "Marcus?" His father answered. "Aren't you supposed to be at your engagement party tonight?" "The party was 3 weeks ago," Marcus said, "and the engagement is over." "What happened?" His mother's voice joined in. They were on speakerphone. Marcus took a deep breath. "Jasmine is pregnant. Well, she had the babies already. 4 of them. Quadruplets." The silence on the other end lasted so long that Marcus checked to see if the call had disconnected. "4 babies?" His father finally said. "Are you certain they're yours?" "They look just like me," Marcus replied, "but I'll get a paternity test." "And Rebecca left you because of this?" his mother asked. "She left because I lied to her about why I ended things with Jasmine," Marcus admitted. "I told her it was because we wanted different things. I didn't mention Jasmine's PCOS or that I left specifically because I wanted someone who could give me children." His father sighed heavily. "So now what?" "I don't know," Marcus said honestly. "I have 4 children I didn't know existed until today. Rebecca is gone. and I'm living in a hotel." After hanging up, Marcus searched online for how to care for quadruplets and stayed up most of the night reading. The next morning, he drove to Oak Park and knocked on Andrea's door, his arms full of gifts. Eleanor opened the door, her expression guarded. "Hello, Marcus," she said coolly. "Jasmine is feeding the babies." "I brought these," Marcus said, holding up 4 identical teddy bears and a large bouquet of flowers. "Can I see her?" "Them?" Eleanor hesitated, then stepped aside. "Wait in the living room. I'll tell her you're here." Marcus sat awkwardly on Andrea's sofa, the gifts arranged beside him. A few minutes later, Jasmine appeared, looking tired but determined. She wore loose clothing and moved carefully, still recovering from her C-section. "Hello, Marcus," she said, not sitting down. "Jasmine," he began, standing up. "I want to apologize for everything. I was wrong to leave you because of your PCOS. I was wrong about so many things." "Yes, you were," Jasmine agreed simply. "But now I understand what's important," Marcus continued. "Family. Our family." He gestured to the gifts. "I want us to try again. You, me, and the babies. We could buy a house together. I have money. I can provide for all of you." Jasmine's expression didn't change. "No, Marcus. Please, just think about it," Marcus urged. "We could give the children a real family. 2 parents, together." "The answer is no," Jasmine said firmly. "You didn't leave me because we grew apart or had different values. You left because you thought I was defective. You traded me in for a newer model with better baby-making potential. Those were your exact words to your friend Derek." Marcus winced. "I was wrong. I see that now." "You only see it now because I proved I could have children after all," Jasmine pointed out. "If I hadn't gotten pregnant, you'd still be with Rebecca, planning your perfect family with her." Marcus had no response because she was right. "I won't be in a relationship with someone who only wants me because I proved my worth by having his children," Jasmine continued. "But I am willing to offer you something else." "What?" Marcus asked. "The chance to be a father to your children," Jasmine said. "Co-parenting, separate homes, separate lives, but working together for the good of Ethan, Noah, Maya, and Olivia." Marcus looked disappointed. "That's all?" "That's everything," Jasmine corrected him. "Those 4 babies are everything, and being their father is a privilege, not a right." "What would co-parenting involve?" Marcus asked after a moment. "First, you need to learn how to care for infants," Jasmine explained. "Take parenting classes, read books about multiples, show me you're serious about being in their lives." "I can do that," Marcus said quickly. "Second, you need to live nearby," Jasmine continued, "not in a hotel downtown. The babies can't travel back and forth easily, especially as newborns." "I'll find a place in Oak Park," Marcus promised. "And third, we need a legal agreement about custody, visitation, and child support," Jasmine finished. "My lawyer is already working on it." Marcus nodded slowly. "Can I see them? The babies?" Jasmine led Marcus to a large room that had been converted into a nursery. 4 cribs were arranged against the walls, and Eleanor was gently rocking one of the girls. "They just finished eating," Jasmine said quietly. "This is Maya in the yellow hat. Olivia is in the pink hat. The boys are sleeping, Ethan in blue, Noah in green." Marcus approached Maya cautiously. "She's so small." "They were all born early," Eleanor explained, her voice softer than before. "But they're strong." "Would you like to hold her?" Jasmine asked. Marcus nodded, and Eleanor carefully transferred Maya into his arms, showing him how to support her head. "Hello, Maya," he whispered, his voice full of wonder. "I'm your dad." The next few weeks transformed Marcus's life completely. He found a 4-bedroom house for sale just 3 streets away from Andrea's home and made a cash offer the same day he toured it. He signed up for parenting classes at Rush University Medical Center and filled his Amazon cart with books about raising multiples. Every day, he visited the babies, gradually learning how to change diapers, prepare bottles, and soothe crying infants. His first attempts were awkward. He put diapers on backward, mixed formula incorrectly, and panicked when all 4 babies cried at once. "How do you know what each cry means?" he asked Jasmine one afternoon, bouncing Ethan gently as the baby wailed. "Practice," Jasmine replied, effortlessly calming Noah with a specific rocking motion. "And time. You'll learn." As November turned to December, the babies grew stronger. Jasmine's physical recovery progressed well, though she still moved carefully. One evening, as Marcus prepared to leave after his daily visit, Jasmine handed him a book. "What's this?" he asked, reading the cover. "The first year with multiples." "Homework," Jasmine said with a small smile. "If you're serious about taking the babies for longer periods, you need to understand their schedules and needs." Marcus nodded eagerly. "I'm furnishing the nursery at my house this weekend. 4 cribs, changing tables, everything they need." "Good," Jasmine said, "because I think you're ready for your first solo feeding." "Tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock. The pride on Marcus's face was unmistakable. "I won't let you down." The next day, Jasmine watched as Marcus successfully fed both Ethan and Noah, burping them correctly afterward. "You've been practicing," she observed. "With dolls," Marcus admitted. "I bought 4 baby dolls to practice holding and feeding 2 at once." Jasmine looked surprised, then impressed. "That's actually really smart." "I know I messed up," Marcus said quietly as he cradled the boys. "I know I hurt you, but I won't fail these babies. I promise." That night, after Marcus left, Andrea found Jasmine sitting in the nursery watching her sleeping children. "He's really trying," Andrea commented. "I have to admit, I didn't expect that." "Me neither," Jasmine agreed. "When he first came with those teddy bears, I thought he just wanted to fix his image. But he's actually putting in the work." "Does that change how you feel about him?" Andrea asked. Jasmine shook her head firmly. "No, I can respect him as the baby's father without forgetting what he did. Some trust, once broken, can't be repaired." "I'm proud of you," Andrea said, hugging her sister gently. "Setting boundaries while still allowing him to be their father. That takes strength." "They deserve to have him in their lives," Jasmine said, "as long as he proves he's worthy of them." As Christmas approached, Marcus invited his parents to Chicago to meet their grandchildren. His mother sent Jasmine a careful, polite email asking if she could visit the babies. "What do you think?" Jasmine asked Eleanor as they prepared bottles in the kitchen. "They're the children's grandparents," Eleanor said thoughtfully. "As long as they respect your boundaries, I see no reason to keep them away." Jasmine agreed and arranged for Marcus's parents to visit the following weekend. As she prepared for this new chapter in their complex family story, Jasmine realized that the path forward wasn't what she had once dreamed of, but it was taking shape in a way that might work for everyone, especially her 4 tiny children. 1 year after the quadruplets' birth, Jasmine stood in a sunny corner of Lincoln Park, watching as guests arrived for the baby's first birthday celebration. 4 identical cakes, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 yellow, and 1 pink, sat on a decorated table alongside neatly wrapped presents. A banner reading, "Happy First Birthday Ethan, Noah, Maya, and Olivia," fluttered in the gentle October breeze. "Everything looks perfect," Eleanor said, adjusting the balloons tied to each chair. Since selling her Detroit home, she had purchased a small condo just 5 minutes from Andrea's house, where she could be close to her grandchildren. "I can't believe it's been a year already," Jasmine replied, smoothing her dress. She had returned to nursing 3 months ago, working part-time at Northwestern Memorial Hospital while the babies stayed with Eleanor or Marcus. Andrea approached with a camera. "The guests of honor are arriving." Marcus walked toward them, pushing a 4-seat stroller with all the babies dressed in matching outfits, each in their signature color. He wore a t-shirt that read "Dad of Quads," and looked more relaxed than Jasmine had ever seen him during their relationship. "Sorry we're a little late," he said. "Noah needed a last-minute diaper change." "You handled it by yourself?" Jasmine asked, impressed. Marcus nodded. "I'm getting better at the quick changes, though I still can't beat your record time." The past year had transformed both of them. For Jasmine, motherhood had revealed strengths she never knew she possessed. For Marcus, fatherhood had taught him humility and the true meaning of responsibility. Their co-parenting arrangement had evolved over months of adjustments. Marcus now had the babies 3 days each week at his Oak Park home, which he had transformed from a bachelor pad into a child-friendly space with child-proof locks, soft furniture, and 4 of everything. Dr. Chen arrived with a large gift bag. "Look at them! I can't believe these are the same tiny babies from the NICU. Thank you for coming," Jasmine said, hugging her. "And thank you for everything you did to bring them safely into the world." More guests arrived. Lisa and other mothers from Jasmine's multiple birth support group, colleagues from the hospital, and Marcus's parents, who now visited Chicago monthly to see their grandchildren. Marcus's father, Robert, approached Jasmine. "The party looks wonderful. Can I help with anything?" Their relationship had started awkwardly but had grown respectful over time. "Could you help set up the high chairs?" Jasmine asked. "It's almost time for cake." As the party continued, Jasmine found a quiet moment to watch the scene before her. Ethan was crawling rapidly across a blanket toward a toy, while Noah pulled himself up on a chair attempting to stand. Maya was babbling happily in Eleanor's arms, and Olivia was studying a leaf with intense concentration. Jasmine felt a presence beside her and turned to see Marcus. "Penny for your thoughts," he said. "I was just thinking about how much has changed in a year," Jasmine replied. "Sometimes I still can't believe we have 4 one-year-olds." Marcus nodded. "I never expected my life to turn out this way." He paused, but I wouldn't change it now. They stood in comfortable silence watching their children. The awkwardness that had marked their early co-parenting days had gradually given way to a respectful partnership focused on the baby's well-being. "I started a support group at the hospital," Jasmine said, "for mothers of multiples. We meet twice a month." "That's great," Marcus replied. "Your experience helps others." "It helps me too," Jasmine admitted, "connecting with other parents who understand the unique challenges." Marcus watched as Maya made her way toward them, crawling with determination. "I've been meaning to ask you something. My company is starting a new daycare program for employees' children. They want me to consult on the design since I have experience with multiples. Would you mind if I mentioned some of our strategies?" "Of course not," Jasmine said. "The more family-friendly workplaces, the better." Marcus picked up Maya as she reached them, lifting her high in the air as she giggled. "Who's my birthday girl?" Jasmine smiled at their interaction. A year ago, Marcus had barely known how to hold a baby. Now he could handle all 4 with confidence. "Remember when you used to practice with dolls?" Jasmine asked. Marcus laughed. "Those dolls didn't prepare me for the real thing. They never cried at 3 in the morning or had diaper blowouts." Their conversation was interrupted by Andrea announcing it was time for cake. Everyone gathered around as the 4 babies were secured in their high chairs. Jasmine and Marcus stood behind them, helping each child with their individual cake. "Ready?" Jasmine asked. 1, 2, 3. As everyone sang "Happy Birthday," the babies reacted in their own ways. Ethan immediately plunged both hands into his blue cake, smearing frosting everywhere. Noah cautiously touched his green cake before tasting a tiny bit. Maya smashed her yellow cake with enthusiasm, while Olivia methodically picked apart her pink cake, examining each piece. "They're all so different," Marcus's mother commented, snapping photos. "They've always been," Jasmine agreed. "Even in the womb, they had distinct personalities." After cake and presents, as the party began to wind down, Marcus helped Jasmine clean up while Eleanor and Andrea entertained the babies. "I never thanked you properly," Marcus said suddenly. "For what?" Jasmine asked. "For giving me the chance to be their father," he replied. "You could have kept them from me after how I treated you. Many women would have." Jasmine shook her head. "They deserve to know their father. And you've proven yourself worthy of that title." Marcus was quiet for a moment. "I was so wrong, Jasmine. About everything." "How so?" she asked. "I thought family was something you could plan perfectly, like a business strategy," he explained. "But it's not about fertility or timing or having the perfect partner. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard." Jasmine nodded, watching their children playing nearby. "The irony is that you left me to find someone who could give you a family. But you already had one. You just couldn't see it." Marcus accepted her words without argument. "I'm just grateful we found our way to this arrangement." "The kids seem happy." "They are," Jasmine agreed. "They have 2 homes filled with love, grandparents who adore them, and an aunt who would do anything for them. That's what matters." As the sun began to set, guests departed with party favors and tired smiles. Jasmine's support group friends made plans to meet the following week. Dr. Chen promised to visit again soon. Marcus's parents hugged each grandchild goodbye before heading to their hotel. Finally, only the core family remained: Jasmine, Marcus, Eleanor, Andrea, and the 4 exhausted birthday children. "I'll take them home for their nap," Marcus offered, "and bring them back to your place around 7? "Perfect," Jasmine agreed. "I'll pack up the gifts and bring them later." As Marcus secured each sleepy baby in his specially equipped minivan, Jasmine felt a wave of gratitude. Their family didn't look like what she had once imagined, but it worked. The children were thriving with their 2 households and extended family support system. Eleanor approached as Marcus drove away. "You 2 have come a long way," Jasmine smiled. "We've found our balance." "Are you happy?" Eleanor asked. Jasmine looked around at the remnants of the celebration: the crumbled cakes, the discarded wrapping paper, the photos they'd taken to preserve memories. 1 year ago, she had been terrified of the future, unsure how she would manage 4 newborns as a single mother. Now she stood confident, surrounded by a support system she had built and strengthened. "Yes," Jasmine answered honestly, "not in the way I expected to be. But yes, I'm happy." Later that evening, after the babies had been bathed and put to bed in their cribs at Jasmine's house, she sat in the nursery watching their peaceful faces. Each one had brought something special into her life. Through them, she had discovered her own resilience. Marcus had been right about one thing: family was about showing up every day. But it wasn't just about biology or planning or perfect partners. Family was what they had created together: imperfect, unexpected, but filled with love. As Jasmine turned off the light, leaving only the soft glow of 4 identical nightlights, she knew that their journey had only just begun. 4 first steps, 4 first words, 4 first days of school lay ahead, and though the path had been different than she'd once imagined, it had led her exactly where she was meant to be. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen.